think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away. We feel betrayed.
Welcome to the show. This is the Defiant Discourse podcast, episode number 12. I'm gonna fire up Cold Beer Condemned, the main channel. I'm gonna fire up the Twitter page. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching right now on Facebook or the Defiant Discourse podcast YouTube, you're good to go. Don't have to go anywhere, even if you get a notification. Don't leave.
The big house, the brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, hate is
Just the
bad.
one to bring Sage on. He's kind of in a bitchy mood, so you guys get
Back
prepared
to
for
the
that. Guys, if you're catching this from my main channel, Cold Beer Condemned, you're on the wrong channel. Make sure you get over to the Defiant Discourse podcast. We're fixing a star.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack.
Sage can hear us. He just can't talk. They're asking who bought you the Vagisil, Sage.
Hate is bad.
I got some extra.
Wake it through the back of the
Like dip on tortilla shells. Very funny, Jungle Jet. Hi guys, here we go. We're getting started. If you're watching on Cold Beer Condemned, you're on the wrong channel. Get over to Defiant Discourse Podcast. You won't be able to see the full show there. Same with Twitter. Come join us. Defiant Discourse Podcast. I'll drop the link in chat right now. I just got a Piranha donation. We haven't even started yet, Sage. Alright guys, here we go. Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Defiant Discourse Podcast. If that title caught you off guard, it's because you're on the wrong channel. I know a lot of people go to my main channel, which is a Cold Beer Condemned. Cold Beer Condemned. There's like 20 some of you there now. You're going to want to be on the Defiant Discourse Podcast channel here on YouTube or Facebook. You're safe there as well, but every other channel will be turned off in just a second. So join us. I just dropped the link. Defiant Discourse Podcast. That's the name of this show. And it's run by me and another guy who is currently very upset. He's mad because he knows that I teamed up with Phil today, and he is not happy. He knows he can't hold a candle to Phil's art projects. So I'll let him explain it himself. But let's go ahead and bring him in. This is the one, the only, thank God, Sage with Sage News. What's up, Sage?
You gonna start gaming with them too now? You guys gonna start gaming Sundays together and
We've
hacking Sundays?
We've already been gaming.
Have you?
Yeah, we play Pong, you know, because he's a high-end top tier gamer, just like he's a top tier hacker, so we play Pong on the Atari.
I could see that Hackfast Sundays, because he's definitely one that could figure out, you know, what happened to the husband's wife's father during the spoon and you know, knife fight and electrical shock.
If there was one reason I had to pick of why I loathe you the most, it's because every time you come on the show, you change your camera size, and I have to constantly readjust your guest cam.
Well, I'm good now. I'm all set up. I moved all my. Here's the problem. Here's what happened. Right. I'm upgrading the system to try to be, so we can be maybe across from Hannity at some point. Right.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I've got one computer, two computer, three computers now right here. So I got a computer monitor, and a computer monitor. So I've set everything up, and I think I'm good to go. We came in and we cleaned up all the wires and taped them all up, and Paul was in here making a mess and stuff like that. And but I think we're good to go now. I think my camera's in a good spot. That's set to go. So you can not loathe me as much. I mean,
little sage in the corner.
And little sage in the corner. Why don't you just shrink me down like everybody else?
You were shrunk down. I had to blow you up because we literally went through this last week. And you're like, make my camera the right size, and then you come in this week with a different size camera. Like, I'm
done now. It's good. It's the same camera, same spot. We're good to go. I don't have an aura. You have an aura about you every time I come in here. It's been here, which I think is the fact. You miss me, and you just feel that purple aura feeling.
Yes, chat. Sage is mentally handicapped, so all of his computers are Macs. He just bought an M1 Mac Mini, and he's running off 2 other Macs and 14 screens, and he still can't put together a stream that looks as good as mine. No. 4 Macs, and he can't get it out.
3 Macs. Maybe a 4th. No, oh damn, you're right. I do have 4. One's real old though. I just remembered that one. That's over there though. So I got to start to learn how to do some software stuff. So that's my next thing. I went the wrong path. I learned photography like an old school idiot, and now I'm gonna have to go into video.
That's the rough side of it. I've seen some of your photography. It's all right. I can clearly tell that you're 4'8" and all your angles are shot from the ground looking up. But still, it's like if you turned a toddler loose with a camera, and they were good at photography. So there you go. There's your compliment for the night.
Well, that's good. 4'8". That's fine. Whatever.
Anyways, guys, we're running a little bit late because baseball season. But we're still going to keep doing this one. The Tuesday one is weird, but the Thursday one we're still going to try to keep doing. But thank you guys for joining us. If you want to support the show, you guys know how to do it. CultClub.com, KULTKLUB.com. Cult Club spelled with K's. BuyMeACoffee.com/cold beer, or join the Patreon. We've been having a lot of fun in the Patreon. Telegram, you're in there, and the Patreon groups and the Patreon stuff going on. It's been fun. We've had some. I've been releasing videos there early too. Like the one I did today of Phil, I gave them like 2.5 hours. They could see the video first, so that worked out.
I'm thinking about a new part for your Patreon. I think it's going to be Sage Rants.
No.
Just do a fire up. No, you're not allowed in there.
I think you're under the assumption that people in my Patreon like you. Do they get to rant at you? Is that what it is? They get to yell at you?
Rant at me.
Oh, okay, that might work. If they could just tell you, if they could just let out some aggression, telling you how much they dislike you, maybe.
Exactly, because I thought that would be a brilliant part of your Patreon for them to be able to do that, because then they can feel like you. They can feel like you for 15 minutes of fame. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. They might love that.
I see them. Yeah. So that's what I thought we'd do. Tuesday show. We'll figure that one out. Even if I roll on early and then you come in the second half or something like that.
Yeah, you replace me. We already figured it out. By the way, Kitty McNeil bought 3 6-packs for the only truth talkers out there in YouTube, La La Land. Thank you very much, Kitty McNeil, for the donation and the support. We appreciate it.
Why didn't I see anything?
It was during the intro. She donated.
Okay, then I didn't.
And I didn't see it either. I just heard it go off.
So I don't know. There's so much stupidity out there at this point. Oh, Tim, let's just get this off so we can get it off early. If Hawk would like to join us on the show, you're welcome to click the link when we drop the link. If Will remembers, and explain to us the whole situation of what you got going on over there.
He doesn't like me.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't like you. And I think my problem I got lots of problems. Is we watched that video, right? And then they went over to Eisman News. I can't remember. I'm bad with names.
Eisenhower.
Yeah, Eisenhower News. And then he got all upset, and then he says he yells at you after you've been banned. Now that you're gone and you can't reply, all of a sudden he yells at you and wants you to reply. And I'm like, what is he? What the hell?
If you missed what happened, chat, I went over. Well, I didn't go anywhere. Someone said that for some reason that Hawk called me a drunk idiot and said he didn't have time for me. Right. And I clicked the link and I rewound it like a minute or two, and I saw where he called me a drunk idiot and said he didn't have time for me. And I wasn't there. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything to anybody. I was just enjoying my day. So I put, I heard Hawk was screaming like a little schoolgirl or like throwing a tantrum like a schoolgirl or something like that. Then they block me, and then he hops into the chat calling me out. Oh, there he is. Oh, I'm here now. But it was after they blocked me. But he can smell bullshit. He knows bullshit when he sees it because I served my country. I know bullshit. But he's waiting on JFK to save his farm. It should be good.
That's that's exactly what JFK. And did anybody watch? And let's start here. Because that's why I said, Hawk, please, like I said, jump in. I have questions. And one of the things you said, in your statement, does anybody have anything to say? Yes, I do. Did you watch any of the Wisconsin thing today?
I didn't. I've been doing all kinds of shit today. I didn't watch any of it.
All right. I watched it, and can I just play sound here, or how do I do it?
Yeah, whatever you play will come through your thing as long as your sound's set up right.
Yeah, all right. So mine's set up right because you can hear me through my microphone, right? Perfect. So I watched part of that, and one of the lawyers that basically came through, and here's another thing. Hot Mike. Who do you think I'm talking about? This should be, hey, when we do another crossword puzzle, Hot Mike needs to learn how to mute your mic, Libert.
You're talking about Michael Jordan?
Yeah, exactly. Mute your mic when you share something. Does that? I don't know how you didn't learn your lesson. Mute your mic. I swear to God. So, anyways, I borrowed 2 minutes from Hot Mike, and I just want to play this here.
Supreme Court has said when you unjustly cannot vote, but it is also equally violated when someone votes illegally and cancels your vote. So there has been historically a bipartisan consensus that we balance ease of access to voting with the increased potential for fraud and try to achieve a balance that means that everybody's right to vote is protected. Now, these corrupt practices in Wisconsin have been through the Government Accountability Board, by John Doe investigations, by the current Wisconsin Election Commission, and now by the Zuckerberg Five, which is the subject of this hearing. In the past, the Wisconsin legislature has made significant reforms in the administration of campaign finance election boards by abolishing GAB, by prohibiting John Doe investigations, by revising your campaign finance laws. And I applaud you for what you are doing to try to reform your own laws in the face of evidence of serious irregularities in its administration in prior elections. But this testimony of mine, and I think all of ours, is not about relitigating the 2020 election, overturning the 2020 election. That is done and over. The only way to remove President Biden is by his death, resignation, impeachment, or disability on the 25th Amendment. And what this is about is the future, is what happened in the past, what reforms are necessary in the future.
All right, so this is in Wisconsin. Everybody's like, oh, look, it's fraud. We're going to flip it right here. All we need is one state. Woo, no it.
Yeah, but that's the opposite of what he said. Plus, Mike was leaving somebody a voicemail.
Yeah, Mike was leaving somebody a voicemail because he can't figure out how to mute his mic. I can't. All right, listen. Sean Hannity's going to want you to learn how to do that because the last thing Sean Hannity's going to want you to do is get a hot mic with him. So make sure you learn that before you and Sean team up. Now, the second part of this is they are not looking to have Trump come in. That is a lawyer. His name was James Boop or whatever. He was on part of that Wisconsin thing.
James Poop?
I don't know.
James Poop?
Hang on a second.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. By the way, if you're watching, last warning, if you're watching on Cold Beer Condemned, there's 40 some of you. If you're watching on Cold Beer Condemned, go to the YouTube channel or click this link for the Defiant Discourse podcast. That is where we are at. That's where you need to be if you want to watch the rest of the show. I'm about to turn it off as soon as this message goes through. So like a 30-second delay, I'm turning it off. So come join us on the Defiant Discourse podcast. You can click that link or find us on YouTube in the search bar, Defiant Discourse podcast.
BOP, B-O-P-P, from the BOP law firm, basically, in Wisconsin. He's at the state capitol. He's arguing this case. So somewhere in there, Mike then says, 25th Amendment, let's get him out of there. Do you know what happens when we do the 25th Amendment? Will, if we were to enact the 25th Amendment right now, can you tell me what will happen?
So, well, first of all, they have to have a cabinet member position or an overwhelming majority in either the House or the Senate that want to enact it, and then they'll remove him from office, and it can be temporary or permanent. It'll probably be permanent if they're going up for mental health reasons. His mental health isn't going to get any better, and then Kamala Harris will become president, and she'll have a pretty extended time to pick a VP. Everybody thinks that Nancy Pelosi will immediately become vice president. She will not. They give her, unless there's some type of an emergency and we have to have a vice president, they'll actually give her a long time. Historically, there's been a bunch of presidents or a few presidents who lost their VP while in office. VP died, VP quit, VP resigned, whatever. There's some of them that finished their term a year and a half and never even had a vice president because the continuity of the government still continues. You don't have to have that slot filled. They expect you to. They want you to. They want somebody confirmed, but it would just be Kamala Harris and no VP for a while.
Right. And then she picks, right? She then picks. Yeah. And then, of course, it has to go through, but she picks.
Yeah, it just gets confirmed. Kind of like you pick like you would pick somebody for the Supreme Court, like they're doing right now.
Right. So has anybody listened to her speak? Has anybody seen anything of her speak? Is this what you want? Is this what you want, Mike? You want her to replace him? This is a lose-lose situation here. Lose-lose. So
yeah, I'd much rather have Biden than I would Kamala.
Exactly. And it's at a point now where it's like, get over it. JFK, this is for Hawk. Hawk, pay attention. Pay attention. JFK is nowhere in the mix. I don't care if it's junior, senior, junior. He's nowhere in the mix.
What about Doctor? Like,
no.
You remember Dr. Mario?
Not even Esquire.
How he'd throw those pills?
Not even JFK Esquire. Nothing. You're not in the mix. Not in the mix there, Hawk.
Oh.
So that's the bullshit you can't smell.
That is not good. Oh, I do want to. So I know you got stuff you want to go through. Did you see?
Right.
Did you see that Trump's suing Hillary and the deep state?
No, I didn't even see this.
So Trump fought. So all the Q-tards, as I'd like to affectionately call them. By the way, we're on the same team now. I teamed up with Phil to end human trafficking. If you haven't seen that video, we're ending human trafficking. But so all of the Q-tards are sharing this around like, oh my God, this is it. He's suing the deep state. He's going to get them. And he names like Hillary Clinton. He names James Comey. He names Obama and some of his administration. He names a bunch of people. And he's filed a lawsuit. And I might actually grab the lawsuit and read it on a Patreon video tonight. But he's filed a lawsuit. But the problem is, it's a lawsuit in civil court seeking financial damages. He's not even, first of all, he doesn't name, it has nothing to do with the voting. It has nothing to do with Germany or secret satellites or secret servers or flipping or any of that. What it has to do with is honestly something that I believe is probably true. But YouTube, I said probably, that a lot of the Russian stuff was manufactured, and it was only manufactured and investigating started to make him look bad, make him look like a Russian agent. That's what he's suing over, is the fact that he even names Christopher Steele, the guy who wrote the dossier. He's suing over all that, but it's for damages. He's seeking a few $1 million in money. He's not even seeking, like, they're like, oh my God, he's going to take the office when he sues them all. No, like, he's asking for more money. He's got to get Trump Force One going.
Yeah. You know what? I can do the same, and I'll probably lose, but I think we should both do the same thing in small claims court and see if they show.
Okay. I sue you and you sue me, or what?
No, we're gonna both sue Hillary for damages.
Well, I gotta sue Phil, even though we're on the same team, because he told everybody that I committed a felony and I was gonna be in big trouble.
Damn, that's not gonna go well on game night. I'm just letting you know. If you guys are now doing the game night thing, it's not gonna go well.
Instead of game night, we'll have litigation night.
Litigation night? That'd be cool. We could do that. We should do that, actually. That's good. All right. So I made a list today, and somebody asked if somebody crapped in my
Wait. Hold on. Kay Shanley, I may have misspoke. Phil's current girlfriend is named Carrie, the one that he asked to marry him. His former wife, who left him and will not allow him to see the kids without a court order that he has to have supervised visitation, the mother of his children, her name is Dory. So I may have misspoke, but those both exist. One of them's the wife and one of them's the fiance. Fiance.
All right. Is my mic working or am I kicked?
Is your mic working? Your mic's working. Are you kicked? Where'd you kick to?
I don't know. My camera froze up.
Yeah, you look like shit. But your mic's working. If that makes you feel any better.
Well, I just got a message saying that my mic got kicked too. Shit, OBS.
No, your mic's here, but your camera's through OBS Ninja. It's not through StreamYard. So
OBS shut down.
Oh, well, there you go. Send me a new link and we'll grab it. But you're still here. I mean, they can still hear you on StreamYard.
All right, give me a minute there.
You don't have a minute. We need it now, okay? As many times as you blow my phone up and text me, are you there yet? Can I talk to you yet? What are you doing now? What's over here? What's going on? Can we do this? Let's do this.
You know what the problem is that? The problem is that I will drop a message and I'll drop like 4 messages and you only read like the last. We talked about this.
Yeah, I'm not reading a fucking book, dude. It's a text message. Pertinent information only. Are you going to lose life, limb, or eyesight? No? Then I'm just responding to one of them, if I respond at all.
Exactly. The problem is you don't respond to any of them. Like, hey, we doing a show? Hey, we doing this? And then the next thing I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start dropping him like 17 messages and see if he responds.
All right. No,
I
won't.
Come back. There's my camera.
Oh, you send me another link? I'll grab it.
Yeah. I don't know what happened the first time that ever happened.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's something you did. You probably just closed it or did something dumb or something that you can't handle, something that won't function on a MacBook. You ever hack from that MacBook?
Do I ever hack? No. I'm going to say
You don't have a hacking Mac?
No, I don't think Macs are designed for hacking.
Do you ever refuse to pay your taxes, and then tell people that you're never going to pay them again?
No.
Some people do that on Liberty Warrior show. I didn't know.
The issue is, okay, I got a couple issues. That was another one. Thank you for bringing this up on my list. So we're going to go with the first one, the Nasara thing, right? Unrecoverable debts. If you own a business, eventually when you go to seek somebody who has not paid you, you basically say, crap, they're just not going to pay me. I've tried to collect this money. I've had one customer of mine who didn't want to pay me. It was like, I don't know, $33,000 or $3,500. It was like, I don't know. I don't even know. It was 7 years ago. So
what type of full service happy ending do you offer for $3,700?
Oh, well.
You do something with your feet?
Yeah, pretty much. So no, because that service is cash. That's a cash-based service. I don't claim that on my taxes. That's cash-based.
Everything's cash-based if you work for Shane Phelps.
Right, and for that situation, if I don't get my money, we don't finish. You see what I'm saying there? It's kind of easy. You see, that's easy to collect.
You finish too? That would take some hand manipulation there. I mean, I can finish somebody off as good as the rest of them, feet, whatever. But the coordination to get, that's like trying to draw 2 circles in opposite directions with your fingers or whatever, or like spin and pat or what, those things. I don't think I could do. I could do myself and someone else at the same time.
Well, I don't know. Let me see you do the tap your head thing.
No, camera's not good enough. You can't keep up with me. It'd just be a blur.
Good point. So one of the things that was Snoofar or Sufo or whatever his name is,
Snafu.
Who cares? Was on there basically saying that, oh, these debts are being wiped out. Yeah, eventually a credit card company will say, you know what? This is an unrecoverable debt. We're going to use that as a write-off. So let's say you have $10,000 that you haven't paid to a credit card company. They eventually write that off to the IRS as I gave you that money. So now I can write off $10,000 against my company with my companies. But that tax man will eventually come and it was like I gave you the money.
Right.
Now you have taxes on it, right?
Yeah.
It's called
forgiven debt.
Yeah, it's for forgiven debt. It's what businesses do eventually. It is a tax write-off. So, hey, if I'm looking at my taxes and I'm like, woo, I need some write-offs. Is there any debts I can write off? Boom, let's write off this one. And I forgive that debt. It's like I gave you the money, and now you got to claim it on your taxes. Right. That happens all the time, bro. It's nothing special. It's not like you're like, wow, man, I haven't been paying this bill. When they start to forgive the bills that you're actually paying every month, you let me know.
Right.
But the one that you haven't paid for years, that shit happened.
My sister got her, that she was working on and finally got it and got some college loan debt forgiven because she went into a teaching career. Now, she was really excited about it and a lot of things happened and blah, blah, blah. It worked out really good. And then she had to like fill out all this paperwork. She had to recertify every so often. She had to send in all this stuff and fax in and stuff from her school. Like, it was a lot of work to get that loan debt forgiven. But it's a program Tennessee has. If you go to school in Tennessee and become a teacher in Tennessee. Then like 2 years later, they just like randomly started, like they passed a law and something else and some type of fund went into effect. They just started forgiving like adult college debt. And then some of it was written off and stuff. And now people are claiming, oh, my college debt was forgiven. Yeah, that happens all the time to people for different reasons. But sometimes schools do it. Sometimes alumni come in and pay off some debt that the school's holding and they can discharge it from their books. Like that shit happens all the time. When they come and pay your car payment, let me know.
Right. Did you ever move? When you were in the military, did you move? Did they give you
have I ever moved? Yeah, I've moved a bunch.
Okay, so they give you that move allowance, right?
Sure.
Okay, so my wife, of course, was married to another military member like 17,000 years ago. So what happened was he had a student loan that he didn't pay, okay? He didn't pay the student loan. They stopped going after him for the student loan. But when he applied for his move money, because in the military, when you move, they give you move money or you can hire movers and stuff like that, right? I think I got cross country. They judge how far you're moving, if you're married, crap like that.
And based on your family size and how many miles.
Right. Well, when he went to get that money and said, "Hey, we need to do this for moving," the student loan company snagged all of it and paid back the loan.
So that specifically means that was one of the, like a federal loan that was guaranteed by the federal government. Because here's another thing. This actually happened to me. So, you know, the PXs, like the post exchange, like the post stores. Well, somehow, I don't even know how, but one time they were running a deal at the PX where, like, if you signed up for their credit card or something, it was like a ridiculous amount off one purchase. So I signed up for it. It's like 40% off anything you bought in the store that day. So I signed up, or one item you bought in the store that day. So I signed up and got the credit card and bought something ridiculous. I don't know, something that was really expensive, electronic that I wanted. I can't even remember if it was like a camera or video game system or something. I bought an electronic that was really expensive so I could maximize that percentage off. Well, I remember paying it and I remember making the payments, but somehow I ended up owing I guess the last $5 never got paid. And I don't remember ever receiving any bills or anything on it. Or maybe, I thought I paid, what I think probably happened is I thought I paid off the full amount, but it probably wasn't at the end of a billing cycle. So there was still, so many days out of the 30 days that I was charged interest, because it ended up being $5.27. Well, then interest went on that, or blah, blah, blah. Ended up, the total debt was $40. Well, it went on for like years and years and years. I had no idea until I got like a collections notice. And the first notice I got said they already discharged it. And I thought, well, that was weird. Like, I would have paid you had I known that this was going on. And anyways, that all happened. The next time we go to get income tax, like we were getting a refund that year, they jerked it out of my refund, like $40-some. They got it before I could touch it because it was like they were affiliated with the federal government. It's a federal debt, so they grabbed it and took it.
Right, and that's exactly what they did, but it was a lot more than $40. It was like $4,000 that he owed, and they took it all. He had no moving allowance. They took it all, and they're just like, sorry. So that didn't go over well, and that's the type of stuff that, you know what, and the same thing with taxes. You know, when it's like Shane's like, I don't pay my taxes, and that Shane Phelps, Oklahoma. You don't think Al Capone would have figured it out? Wesley Snipes. People go to jail that can afford real lawyers, and they go to jail over taxes.
Yeah,
I mean, real people with real money that don't pay it.
This not paying taxes shit is not a good move to make. Like, I can't believe Shane come on and admitted that. Like, basically what he said is anytime someone pays him, I guess he runs a business. So anytime someone pays him for anything, he takes it and goes to their bank and cashes it and doesn't deposit into a bank account anywhere and takes the cash away and says there's little to no paper trail and it would be too much work for the IRS to like track him down. That is not true. The IRS never forgets, and they're extremely spiteful about debt. So this is some money to pay taxes. Big Block Camaro paid $25. Stay on these truthers' asses from Big Block 67 Camaro. Thank you very much for the donation and the support. We'll stay on top of them.
Yeah, it was 2 years. We forgot to claim something that guess what? It was
you think that, Shane, but they've come after people that make a lot less. I mean, you do you, but it's illegal. You admitted to it in the middle of a live stream with your audio and your video. Like, you do you, but if you keep saying I make too little, they come around for everybody eventually. Well, most people.
Yeah, if you have a profit, you will pay tax. If you are writing off where you don't have a profit, then you don't owe tax.
They don't file at all.
To file to prove that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter on the amount you make or too little. It's if you have a profit, they're going to want to tax your profit.
They came after so a lot of people will say, well, they won't spend time sending a lawyer and doing an investigation, blah, 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 and collecting this on just me. That's not how they do it. They stack people. The same way like a cop, when a cop goes up and shows up in court, when a cop shows up in court, he's not just there for your ticket. He's there for every ticket he's written that month. And there's like a ton of people that he's going to go. So they stack people. They come after a family member of mine, a distant family member, but still, we're related. They come after a family member of mine for like $1,180 or some shit. And when he went to the local federal court, which is like an hour drive away, we went to local federal court. There was like 300 people on the docket that day to go through. They had just sent a lawyer down to this area to do all these cases that they had filed and just knock them all out within a couple weeks. And then they probably don't come back for years. Who knows? But eventually they'll be back around and they'll grab everybody again. My dad got hit up for. So what is? Hold on. Let me look up something right quick.
While you're talking there, let me tell you something else. Let me tell you something else they did to a buddy of mine. And a couple things I can do. One, I have an accounting firm. I have somebody who's been doing the accounting. I think but she's old enough to probably, as soon as they put it in place, she was probably there when they put it in. I will bring her on, a licensed accountant, and we can all talk about this with an accounting firm. I got no problem doing that. The second thing, I can bring on a buddy of mine who was driving truck, he owed state taxes of $400. Okay. They ripped it. He had like 40 grand in the bank. He was a truck driver, heavy hauler. They ripped it out of his bank account. They just pulled it out of his bank account. Okay. Because at one time before, they deposited money in. They ripped it out of that bank account. He then went to the bank and said, give me my money. I want it all in cash. I'm out of here. They just pull it out. They just pulled it out of his bank account. So it's not that they're going to come knocking on your door. They're just going to say, swipe on something.
Yeah, they came. So my dad, this is a story I've kind of told on the stream before. My dad won a pickup truck once. And this has been like years and years ago. But it was, at the time, it was valued at $35,000. And the gift tax at the time was 18%. So they came after my dad for $6,300 because he didn't file the taxes on it. And not only did they come after him for that, that was the reason they were there, but they went ahead while they were there talking about this gift tax that he didn't pay. He thought he could slip it through. They did the last 7 years of everything he had filed with a fine-tooth comb and like went over everything. How much did you make? What did you claim? What did you do here? Who filed this? And he tried to... The lady at H&R Block, they used to use H&R Block, which is not a good deal, by the way. If you can do your taxes yourself or hire somebody else, H&R Block is not a good deal. They're just hiring someone to do TurboTax. Like, if you're going to do that, you might as well do TurboTax. But you just tell them they punched in. But the lady at H&R Block told them, are you expecting a return? And Dad's like, oh, yeah, we need to pay off some bills and some debt and blah, blah, blah. And she told him, like, which if he could prove this, we'd be in a better situation, but he can't. But she told him, like, I wouldn't even file this because if you do, you're not going to get anything back, and you might even owe some stuff. So they didn't. But it was like, it was maybe like, it wasn't even a full year. It was maybe like 8-9 months later. They got a letter in the mail, and then someone knocked on the door a few weeks later, and said they'd like to sit down and talk to him. And he never returned their. They had registered mail, and he never called the number. He never sent anything back in, so they were actually going to pull him in for an audit and needed to schedule it immediately. And there was like a person at our door. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Taxman's scary.
I have an accounting firm out of Texas. I email everything to them. They send them all by email. She does all that. The firm does all that, and they just tell me what I owe. What do I owe? What do I owe?
Sure.
Or what I'm getting back, or I'm good to go, or whatever.
Especially if you're doing something as complicated as like YouTube, where you get all these micro donations, which is what they cost. Anything above like $11.85 is like tax different as donations than anything above that.
Right.
Because you can have two PayPal accounts, one for micro transactions and one for regular transactions. I do, and you can get different rates on the two because one's rated as micro transactions. But yeah. When you're taking all these small transactions in, it looks odd. So it's better just to have somebody to professionally do it. That's what I need to work on, and then get an LLC filed for sure.
I'll hook you up like a tow truck. Either way, I just give it to them. Boom, done. Pay them. Off I go. Whatever. That's what I do. To not pay, and where people are telling people don't pay, because that was also in Robert's thing. People were saying, oh, you don't need to pay your taxes. The IRS is gone. The IRS is not gone. They are sending me an invoice every month, and I am paying my taxes over one of my overtime, because that's usually what I do.
I guess here's my issue. Like, even if I thought, so like everybody on their taxes, especially if you own a business, I'm sure a lot of people fudge this and say, oh, I paid a little bit extra for this, or I paid a little bit extra for that, whatever, right? But as far as having like not paying any taxes, or having a large, lying in a big way, more than a few $100, maybe you're old, maybe they won't catch you, maybe you're banking on death before the IRS comes knocking. A lot of times those transfer though to your to whoever comes after you in lineage and assumes your debts. But do you want to live a life where you're like, oh my God, I saved $300 on taxes, and every day you're like, oh shit, the phone rang, somebody knocked at the door, is that the fucking I would just rather get close as I can, do what I'm advised to do, and pay it, rather than worry about the fucking tax man coming to my door all the time and taking everything. They can ruin your life. Like it.
Exactly.
You're not just banking on that one lie you made. You're banking on the last 7 years. So every time they want to do an audit, they'll go back 7 years almost automatically. And you're banking that you didn't make a mistake, you weren't dumb, you didn't put the wrong number somewhere, blah, blah, blah. It's really crazy. Our tax system's crazy. Like, it's a convoluted code. They expect you to figure it out on your own. Send it in. They don't tell you if it's right or wrong. They either send you money or a bill back, And then instead of giving you help, then they just come and fucking charge you and wreck your life. Like it's the craziest tax system ever, but everybody plays by it.
And we're not tax professionals. I'm telling you to hire a tax professional, but
right.
You're gonna have to pay your taxes. I can legitimately say that without being a tax professional. You should pay your taxes if you have them.
Right.
That was one of the other thing. What was the next thing? Oh, here's the next thing too. I got an issue with. We're gonna go down my list here. My list of my pen list. I actually wrote it down, and some I can read, some I can't. Let's way,
get it.
The internet, YouTube. All right, everybody's like, I was thinking about how with all this stupid stuff that's going on YouTube. I mean, the stupid, the Q, the A, the B, the C, all the way to the Q type lettering. And all that stuff that's going out on YouTube, how would you fix that problem? How would you fix YouTube and it all stop? Because you got people screaming about censorship. You got people screaming that they're being bullied. You got people screaming that everybody has the right to their opinion. You got people telling people we're at a point now where you should check my poll out. Has anybody seen the poll on how the government could tell us we are being invaded by China or Russia military? And no one will believe us. No one would believe the government. Did you see that poll? I don't even know.
It was in the show when you ran it.
No,
yeah.
I did one on my community page, and there's like 400 something votes on it. And it is mind-boggling. You'd have to pull it up. It's mind-boggling that no one believes that. So if you were wanting to fix YouTube with all this complaining and all this stuff, what would you do at this point? Because I know what I would do. I know what the knee-jerk reaction would be.
I don't think you want my response. But if it was me, I don't think banning people fixes the problem because they just go to more radical sites. So like it just becomes a problem somewhere else, not to mention the people who have 12 or 15 or 35 channels and broadcast to them all. We know some people like that. So if you want to fix the problem in a whole, you have two options. One, they're not going to do, which would be, I'm not for banning people, so there's two options. One, they're not going to do because it doesn't help them any. It actually hurts them with their advertisers. But you let anybody say anything they want, as long as it's not already illegal against an actual law in the United States or wherever their host country is, and then you have to moderate that. So no threats of violence, no kitty nudes or whatever, no Play-Doh guy content, blah blah blah. Or you shut it down. You're done. You cut your losses and say, okay, this clearly isn't working. If you want to keep complaining, we shut the whole thing down.
I got another option for you. And I'll tell you where they did this. The third option would be you pay. You pay to be a content provider. You pay to be a content watcher. You pay money. No more free. You pay. Because now if you're a content provider and you can get kicked off and you just invested money, you're going to change your tune. Right? To see how much you're going to be booted off there. Now, where did they do this? They did this as freight. At one time, you only had a $10,000 bond in freight brokering, right? And as a freight broker, you had to have a $10,000 bond. You put that in place. You put $10,000 cash in. You can open up a freight brokerage. Well, the scam was freight brokers would open up get their bond, open up their brokerage, rack up $100,000 from a customer, not pay the carrier, not pay the trucks, and then shut the brokerage down and run off with the $100,000. And then do it over and over. So what they did is they raised that bond to $75,000. Now I have a $75,000 bond in place to open up a brokerage, so that if you did do that, you couldn't run off. And what that did was either you get a bond and you put $75,000 in, or you basically apply for a bond through a bonding company and they use your social security number, which basically makes it where now, if I try to run off with the money and reopen another one, I can't use my social security number because it's already marked.
Hey, there is there's a correction I need to make right quick. I did just look it up. Whoever in the chat said it's right. So the IRS used to go back 7 years. Now it says they go back 3 years, unless they identify a substantial error, whatever that is, and then they can add as many additional years as they want, but no more than 6. So it's 3 to 6 years. I said 7, but there you go.
Many. Still too many for me to worry about. I don't care if it's 3. That's too many years for me to remember.
All right,
You
now
guys
go ahead. So the freight boards, they put a new bond. I know somewhere they did this too.
So that channel that I was talking about the other day that does like drama and YouTuber news, Shot from the Point, Tommy C, SFTP, they were doing these like members only shows. And there's a couple different ways you could do it. You could donate directly. You could be a YouTube member. You could do this. You could do that. And they were getting all these nonsensical call-ins. They were getting all these crazy people that would call in and say stupid stuff, say stuff that they were going to get banned for, wasting their time basically just to be trolls. So they made a Discord room that is pay to play basically. So like you pay an amount to get into this Discord. And if you want to leave within like a year or whatever, they refund the amount, like if you're not satisfied with it. But if you stay, then it goes into like a group fund. And that's the only way to be able to call in or participate in chat when they do these members only shows. So they have a closed chat. He reads the Discord chat, or and they turn chat off on the live stream so they're not people trying to get them banned all the time. Or you're a YouTube member and they manually add you into the Discord. But that's the way they did. They put a deposit on it. But basically so people would stop messing with their channel. And it seems to work for them so far.
Yeah, so I foresee, because you also have people like locals, which locals you can't chat unless you're a member. You have to pay to chat. I foresee the knee-jerk reaction of basically making it just like, okay, if you want to pay, just like if you want to get off YouTube, you got to buy your own space. You got to buy your own bandwidth, right? And then you're doing it yourself.
Yeah, you gotta host your own server or host on your own servers.
So it's not outrageous because any other news channel, any other thing pays to be able to do that. And then they get sponsorships and money to hopefully cover the cost of the bandwidth price.
Sure.
So I see that as a possible option because there are too many dumbass people spewing dumbass stuff out there that can
I wish YouTube would do that, because that would drive these people, or a lot of these people, to more free speech friendly platforms, because YouTube clearly is not ideal. They do a lot of stuff on political basis, not everything. I mean, the Q-tards claim like, I'm right wing, I voted for Trump, that's why you banned me. Well, that's not true, but there is stuff that they silence that they probably shouldn't. I think Steven Crowder actually has some court cases against them at the time, but that would drive a lot of people away. But I could see them doing that like out of a panic, because the reason YouTube claims they do it is because, hey, we've got advertisers, and when something crazy comes up like the Christchurch thing, or some type of attack, or some type of hate speech, or some types of this major political event, and then they can trace you back to this YouTube channel you watched who's spewing violent rhetoric, then we get this huge knee-jerk reaction from all the sponsors, and they don't want to be part of it anymore, so they freak out and they pull their advertisement money. And when they do, YouTube doesn't make any profit. Well, YouTube didn't make profit for a long time, but they sustained much worse losses, which they're not going to do for a while. They're a business.
Right. And this is where I see the future of this stuff going, is because, hey, you want to be a part of it? You want to pay? You want to pay to play. You know, this is what happens. If you're a content creator and you want to enter in, then you'll have to pay something. You'll have to put a deposit down that you can lose if you're stupid and you start doing this stuff. Put your money in. Put your money where your mouth is. Sure. And that's an option that I foresee would be one of their options to fix a lot of this, because that's going to technically push it out. Now, I have one more. Well, I actually have two more, but one more definitely. Let me ask you a question.
No. 7.
Too bad. Let me ask you 7 questions. So the first question is, do you feel everybody has the right to their own opinion?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Now, is an opinion something that, like, JFK Jr.'s coming back, and this guy said that there's only 200 Q pilots in there, and you believe, and he dropped off JFK Jr. and Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley on top of Washington's head so they can dance on his head? Is that, and then you debunk that, is that an opinion?
Would it pretend? So this is kind of a weird zone. It kind of depends on how you, first of all, how you present it,
Right.
and then second of all, what's the overall narrative of this channel? So like let's talk about Liberty Warrior. So Liberty Warrior says, oh, these are just my opinions. These are this, these are just that. These are all opinions, right? Then at several points during his show, he says, I'm telling you folks, you need to get ready for this. I'm telling you folks, you need to prepare. I'm telling you folks, you need to pull your kids out of school. I'm telling you folks, you need to get your money right. I'm telling you folks, you need to buy silver. When he combines his opinions with these, any type of advice, or I'm telling you folks, and doesn't blatantly, so is it technically an opinion? Yes. When it combined with these calls to actions, it's still an opinion, but the overall piece is a narrative that he's driving. He can still be held liable for all that.
So let me give you an example. 3 of my FBI friends and an FBI lawyer told me that New York State was going to have a vote on forcing children to get the protectionary shots in their arms tomorrow, and they're all pulling their kids out. Is that an opinion?
That's a lie, first of all.
Oh, okay.
Second of all, it's very weighted. So even if that is an opinion, it's so weighted and so absurd. People are going to take that as some type of advice, and could probably, if someone made a rash action based on that. So let's say tomorrow you said, let's say today you said that the guy who's in the White House is doing this, this, and this. If he's not stopped, he's going to bring an end to democracy, and it's going to cause your kids to die.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion, and that's how you put it. And then someone in the chat said, well, that's not going to happen to me, and then took off headed for Washington, D.C., and took matters into their own hands. You could still be held liable for that that you just put out, right? You put out false information that led anybody to make a reasonable assumption that they had to take action, a course of action. And you can still be held liable for it, even if you want to call it an opinion. First of all, it's a lie. Second of all, you led someone else to take action.
Right. Now, so for me, an opinion would be Wayne Gretzky is the best hockey player of all time. That's my opinion. Right? It's my opinion. I can bet, blah, blah, blah. Now, people seem to be, when it's an all-out lie, I don't consider a straight-out lie that I can debunk and prove it is a lie to be an opinion. Am I wrong?
So opinions can be wrong, but they need to be something that's up for debate. So, no, I would think you're probably right. If it's not even up for debate, if it's settled, then it's probably not an opinion. It's just a false statement.
I'm going to give you an example. JFK Jr. is the president or vice president of the United States of America.
That's a false statement. That's not an opinion.
Okay. When you start to call these people out on statements like that and say, no, they're not, here's the proof, here's this, here's that, here's that. When they start to say, well, I have the right to my opinion, you're a moron, because that's not an opinion. And I don't think you understand the definition of opinion. Right. JFK Jr. is not the president of the United States of America.
So lies are untruths, right? Lies have an intent to mislead. Opinions aren't lies, and mistakes aren't lies. But if you're looking at overwhelming evidence and still deciding the other way, then it's a lie.
Correct.
Yeah, it's no longer an opinion.
And I think we have a mental breakdown in the English language in regards to the definition and understanding of an opinion. That's just a fact. I'm 100%. He's dead. He's not breathing. His brain's not functioning. He's been buried for 6 years. They're dead. They're dead. People were there. They're in the ground. They're dead. We could bring them back up, and there's their remains. We go ahead and test them and did DNA, and that's them. That's not them. In my opinion, he's still alive. Nope. No. He's dead. He's 110 years old. He was shot in the head. He's dead. I know he's not 110, but he's 100 something. Close enough.
Sure.
Dead. Not an opinion.
Oh. I'm trying to read legal definitions here. Go
The
ahead.
other issue we have, and I'm just going to say it is, and I'm just going to be that guy. In regards to anybody on a show, if the people on the show are saying stuff that is so ridiculous and listed technically
Wait.
as, you know,
Hold on. I just thought of something really good. So, people were held accountable for Pizzagate rhetoric, right? Because someone showed up at Pizzagate. Now,
Yes.
Alex Jones was spreading that Pizzagate, Comet Pizza and Ping Pong or whatever, that they had this basement and the kids and the torture and this and that. And then someone showed up to take action over his opinion. Now, that was a factually inaccurate statement. He presented it as he could have said it's an opinion. You know, he doesn't say that, you know, he could have said that's my opinion and this is why. Here's the proof I have to form my opinion. And there were still people charged. There were still people held liable. There's still people sued. People still went to court. Now, Alex Jones claimed that he's a character and you can't sue Mickey Mouse. So you can't sue Alex Jones, but still, there's a good one.
Yeah, and the same thing with the hook of the sand.
Sure.
Remember, you know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
He
That was a weird
lost
way to describe it, but yeah.
He lost that case. He lost it by
Yeah.
saying it didn't happen. Because it
Yeah,
did.
I saw that.
So when somebody proves your opinions as false, you can't say, well, I still have the right to my opinion. It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. It's a lie. It's a lie. I don't care. And here's the other thing, too. I don't care whose channel you're on. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. If you're spewing lies, I'm going to call them out. I don't care who the owner of the channel is. Don't care. If I'm out there lying, people are going to call me out.
Right.
Don't care about the owner. Don't care. But the people on there, if they're spewing it, I'm going to call them out. Be
Absolutely.
advised. So
I like how people say, oh, well, this is, you know, they'll say, okay, it's a free speech channel. We listen to everybody. We do this. We do that. Everybody gets to talk here. We don't, even if I don't believe it, I let them talk. And then when you try to go against their narrative, they're like, it's my opinion. And you can't say that to me. It can't be your opinion and both be held equally, even though one's true and one's false. It's always their opinion and you can't do nothing about it, even though they accept all opinions and they speak to everybody and they don't silence anybody. That never works the same way when it's someone against them.
right, and then this is the stuff. So this is the notepad I've been doing. It's basically because we don't trust anything in any way, shape, or form. Which I understand we all have to make sure government is going to tell it, not always going to tell us the truth. But guess what? They're going to keep secrets. Everybody wants everything to be transparent, and that's not how governments work. That's not how governments survive. That's not how countries survive. They can't be transparent on everything, because if we know, other countries know, and that's a bad thing. And the last thing is, I am utterly, we got to do the Ukraine Russian thing. You tell me who you want me to bring on. I want to bring on some people, because we literally have people cheering for the Russia, and I'm dumbfounded. And I don't think people understand what's going on here. We are literally going to be an axis. The world's dividing, and some are basically the Great Reset, and some are basically the communist, Chinese way. And neither way is good. Neither way is good. And we are going to in a race for a digital dollar. The digital dollar is coming. It's 100%. It's not something anybody wants. But even India is now siding with Russia and China. They are not going to use solar panels. They're not going to do the Green New Deal. They need oil.
Sure.
I'm going to be putting together. China was buying a ton of oil. India was buying a ton of oil. They were all preparing for this. And like I said, I don't have it here. I'm going to do a video on it. It is not going well. I mean, we are sanctioning absolutely everything. It's very difficult to go back from that, right?
Right.
It is, and there are people literally cheering for Russia, the socialist, communist, whatever you want to call them, countries of Russia and China to go in and clean up Taiwan. Do you not know the corruption in China? Do you not know the corruption in Russia? These are the people that we've decided to go in and clean up corruption. Are you out of your dumbass minds? I'm lost. I'm literally lost that they think that this is where we're heading.
It can't be good that we have this many people. I can't wrap my head around some people I used to respect, or like, even if I didn't agree with them, were like, I would never trust our government to tell us the truth. Oh, the Russian government? Clearly they're telling the truth. Like, oh, I got it. I don't trust our government to tell the truth either. Like, I take what they say with the grain of salt, and then I try to verify, try to do my own research, I try to get to the bottom of it based in reality. I don't go into these weird fucking loops that's like, oh, well, maybe we're all in a simulation ran by the aliens of the Galactic Federation. But based in some type of reality, I try to get to the bottom of it. And usually the simplest solution is the correct one, like Occam's razor. But it's very strange that they won't believe our government, but they'll believe the government that literally invented state-run media and lying to their fucking people through it. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Even on Liberty Warriors show, they're like, oh, Russia went in there and said that fake news is no more. You can go to jail for fake news, and CNN was out. No, they're not. It's not free news. Fake news to them is anything that Russia doesn't approve of.
Exactly.
That they don't give you to read on air.
Yeah, so like if you run a story that's not approved by the state, you'll be held in fake news and you'll be arrested or tried or whatever it might be. The same way if you say enough against it's not everybody that protests him, but right. There are some very, very, very notable opponents of him that just wind up dead with ricin in their underwear and waistband, shit like that. Like
allegedly. Exactly. So thank you, Fall. Either way, this is, I am at a point now, because you know what happens when a country gets to the point that they don't trust anything, they don't trust their dollar bills. Like, we legitimately don't trust the dollar right now, right? Should we? Don't know. But right now we're buying silver and we're buying gold because we don't trust the dollar. We don't trust our government in anything. Think about this. We don't trust our police force. We don't trust our medical departments. We don't trust our military. We don't trust our government. We don't trust our dollar. These are all key things that we should have trust in to establish a country's fitness. Does that make sense?
Right. This is all playing perfectly to take us down without ever firing a shot.
Exactly. And when that happens, countries fall. And when countries fall like that, a new knee-jerk reaction comes in to fix this. I mean, think about that. We were deprogrammed. We were programmed to not trust our police department. We're programmed now to not trust our doctors and our nurses and stuff.
That reminds me, I've got an announcement to make, Sage.
Oh,
the CEO of Disney was arrested. Yeah, the CEO of Disney was arrested on trafficking charges, and that comes from a news source.
What news source? Because it hasn't hit any of that the CEO actually...
Great show so far. Shane Phelps claimed in chat tonight, no paperwork, no proof when it comes to paying his taxes, but he might want to check with his boy because we all know that Libert withholds 50% for taxes.
That's right. Libert's got the paperwork. By the way, these businesses are people that are paying him. If they're paying him any type of sum, they're dumb if they're not keeping I guarantee you someone that's paid him has kept paperwork on it. It said paid out $100, $500, $3,000. I keep every fucking receipt. I might pay $10 for something or leave a tip. I keep every bit of that. And it's not large amounts because I need every write-off I can get. I guarantee you someone who's paid him within the last 6 years has kept a receipt on it.
Shane, check back with your tax professional, but my tax professional tells
Liberty
me
does.
Anyone over $500, and she even suggested I do $300, I claim that I paid them. Do you know why? Because that's a write-off for me. Why would I pay taxes on it when I gave you the money?
I keep so my taxes are so upside down from like getting what they, getting these small payments from donations and this and that. I keep everything. I don't give a damn if it's $2. Like I'm adding it up there. I'm trying my best to beat the minimum deduction, because if you can, that's more off. If you can't beat the minimum deduction, there's really no reason to do it, right? You just claim the minimum for a business and move on. But if you can, that's more money in your pocket that you don't have to pay to them.
Right. I am legitimate. Anytime I pay anybody anything, I am writing that down and I am putting that as a pass through. It's a write off. So if I do a show, right, and I'm like, hey, Will, we made $200. Let's just say $100, and YouTube keeps what, $40 of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to give Will the $60.
No. What was the amount you just said? YouTube keeps 30%.
$100. Okay, so I'm going to give Will the $70 straight. I'm not taking taxes on that.
Right.
I'm going to write it off as a pass through. That's not my money. I legitimately gave that money, passed it to him. Now he has to claim taxes on it. I'm not paying taxes on it. So what happens is, anytime, you don't have to claim taxes. You don't have to do any of that. Somebody else is writing you off as a write-off, so they don't have to pay taxes.
Well, just the fact that he's grasping for straws, because the first thing he says, don't make enough. Then I disputed that. Then he's like, no paperwork. No, you can't just keep changing the narrative. Someone's keeping paperwork. I guarantee you, some small business who's barely getting by, who needs every fucking dime they can get away from the IRS, is keeping that paperwork.
Correct. I write off as much anytime I can. If anytime I give people money, well, when I have to, is because I'm not going to pay taxes on your money. I don't think so, Tim. You pay it. So it's a write-off. So I tell the government, I gave that guy $500. And then they find that guy. It's called 1099s. And now you don't have to get them if you're an LLC. They changed that law because you're supposed to keep track. But
right.
I get them all the time. 1099s. That 1099 means that whoever gave you a 1099, they told the government they paid you money.
Exactly right.
That's a 1099. And sorry, you don't have to turn crap in, but I'm not going to pay it. That's another one. You got me excited. What was there else? Go ahead.
Here's your news website here. The Vancouver Times. The Vancouver Times says that the CEO of Disney was arrested. Working Safe BC sets out to address workplace bullying and harassment. There you go. There's a news story. U.S. seeks extradition from Jamaica of suspect in murder of Haiti's Moise. There you go. Russia to emerge from Ukraine conflict weaker, senior Pentagon official says. It's a news website. Ecuador lawmakers reject conservative President Lasso's investment bill. Look, right there's Lynn Wood, ain't it? No, that's somebody else. Either way, same deal. It's a news website.
Uh-huh. And they're the ones saying it?
Yeah, let me show you they've been saying it for like 3 days. Let me show you their about page.
Their satire page. Right at the top, I've never seen a news page that has the word satire on it.
Just that's for satire stuff. Let's go to their about page.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Times is the most trusted source for satire on the West Coast. We write satirical stories about issues that affect conservatives. This is a website that is used to make fun of you for being conservative. They want to see how many reactions they can get, and they broke the story. By the way, that what's the crazy eyelash lady's name? Liberty Live or whatever. She was in here saying Fox News reported it. Fox News reported it. Like
she was in here. If she's still in here, click the link.
Not today. It was a couple days ago on my show.
Why they all? You know what? Why does everybody? Have you dropped the link? Why we need to start dropping the link at the beginning of the show just to see if anybody shows. Because I'll tell you what, everybody disappears when we drop the link. Poof, they're gone. It's like magic. I swear to God, it clears a room.
You think?
Yeah. It's like me entering a room. I almost cleared a room. Just the thought of me going on Robert's page almost cleared the room. I'm like, wow.
It started running.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, this website, there was a bust of a bunch of Florida traffickers, right? And some of them did work at Disney. Like one of them worked in the restaurant, one of them worked in like software, one of them did something else. But they included, of course, the CEO of Disney. But none of that was true. It was just all made up, and they were peddling it around, for sure.
Yeah. It's like Phil said Gavin Newsom was dead.
Yeah, he is.
Nobody informed Gavin Newsom.
Phil told me he was.
Yeah. Another way to tell if you can tell if people die is usually people like Gavin have some type of insurance policies and stuff like that. And, people that type stuff. It's
Surely
unfortunate. I got to find this person's name here. Somebody said I need to have this person on. I want to know who this person is. Hang on.
I bet you don't. I bet you don't want them on. I bet you it's the exact opposite of that. I bet they're not wanted on.
Probably not.
They're shutting down the evil satanic trafficking that occurs by Disney CEOs. They got to get it shut down. It's a big deal, Sage.
Listen, if you guys think that people like Putin are going in to clean up the corruption in Ukraine, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
See, you're just a negative Nancy, dude, all the freaking time.
I am. I absolutely am, because it's at a point now.
Are we winning this war or not, Sage?
Which war? Which war?
The war of good versus evil against the cabal, the deep state players. Yes or no?
I don't know. I don't think we are. I think we're at a point now where.
See, I think that's your problem.
I know. I'm black pill. We're at the point now where, like I said, we don't trust the police, we don't trust medical, we don't trust our school system. Oh, that was the other one. We don't trust we don't trust the police, we don't trust our medical system, we don't trust our school system, we don't trust our financial system, we don't trust our military, we don't trust our government.
You guys remember back in November and the November before that, when Operation Robin Sage was getting geared up. Now, it don't start until a little bit later, but it was getting geared up. And for 2 years, they kept telling you that was the special forces getting ready to move in and take over the White House, and then nothing ever happened because it's just literally an exercise for the Green Berets to graduate. Nothing ever comes true, and they just quit talking about it for a month or a year or whatever, and people just move on. No one holds these people accountable. They did entire shows on Robin Sage. Nothing happened.
I mean, where's Jeff B? Where's Jeff B? Why'd you shut? Hey, Jeff, jump in here and tell us why you shut down your Telegram. Is it because
I think it was mostly because pool time.
You think so?
Adult time pool party. Helen Wendell dragging her ass across the screen.
Oh God! The thought of that, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Either way, I remember when do you remember when Hot Mike basically said that there's no way he trusts Phil because there's no way Phil would say this stuff because he would have too much to lose.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Mike? He's got too much money probably in the bank from people paying him that he can just walk away from his businesses because he's got the cash in the bank.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's making too much not to lie. You know what I mean? It's the exact opposite. Like, obviously, he's motivated to lie and make bigger lies because he's making money hand over fist. Everybody's corruptible except the guys that they like that provides the information that they want provided. Like, those people are incorruptible. Can't do it. No way.
And the fact that he thinks they'd be like, what is wrong with you? He's making so much money. He can just close those businesses, even claim bankruptcy in those businesses, walk away from those businesses and just stick with the business of selling stupidity to people.
Right.
What we got going on here? We got even more good stories on this place.
CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, has been arrested for human trafficking at his home in Southern California. He was promptly, by the way, this operation happened in Florida, but he was arrested in Southern California. He was promptly released without bail with a promise to return to court. Chapek faces multiple felony charges, including trafficking a child across state lines, possession of a child Play-Doh content for the hub. This comes as 4 of his employees at Disney World were arrested in human trafficking operation. They reported this on Ladies' Night. Have you seen this? Of course, the mainstream media is not touching it, but I just saw it. The CEO of Disney's arrested. Jeff being there saying, yeah, here it comes. It's happening.
Yeah. Mainstream media would love to report stuff like this because they would get so many clicks and so many shots that they'd be able to sell that endlessly. You have no idea.
That's right.
I mean, they want big stories. Mainstream media doesn't run around not covering stories like this. Somebody covers it. It's just like the laptops. That was covered by news back then. It just wasn't. Nobody did anything about it, right?
Right.
It wasn't that it wasn't covered. It was pushed out by social medias, but it was covered because you knew about it, right? They just didn't do anything about it.
That's right.
And it's like, my brain hurts. It is. We should just do it. We should just do a show where we just cover this. We read this. We do news reports on this. Like we're serious. Like
Look
it's
at
real.
this right here. If they would have just read like how you got here, you would have to go to home, satire, and then click CEO of Disney arrested. They missed that part, didn't they?
Damn
it.
I swear to God, we should
Damn it.
go and do this and just pick this and raw. What's the other one? Real raw news.
Yeah, I
And
used to read Real Raw news articles all the time.
Let's pretend it's real. Just run with it. They'll never know. Even though I'm saying it out loud right now, we could literally switch and they would never know. They don't.
Listen to this. Look at this story. Pfizer CEO, fourth Pfizer shot necessary for him to make more money.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real statement.
I swear to God. It is like what has happened to the brain cells.
I don't know. Hawkeye will tell you about it. Here he is. Hawkeye, welcome to the stream.
This guy. Hawkeye, are we going to go around in circles here? Are we going to get busy?
Okay, I saw in your stream that
All right.
that there were telephone lines open, and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't your opinion that the telephone lines were open, but that it was an actual fact.
I know, right?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy world.
Opinion. Joe Montana is the best quarterback ever play in the NFL. Opinion.
Joe
Right.
Montana's a zombie.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. He would. Now somebody's gonna say,
It's my opinion that the square root of 9 is 4.
There you go.
Prove me wrong.
wait, what?
Sage doesn't do math.
That's
Okay.
9 times 9, which is 81. So I'm trying to figure out what is this common chord?
That's 9 squared.
That's 3. Yeah, that's 9 squared. The square root.
I wasn't
But
paying.
that's okay. That's okay. You're in logistics.
Yeah,
That's a little bit different than mathematical logistics.
Yeah. You know what's
maybe.
funny? Logistics. It's funny about what I do in logistics. I failed geometry twice, right? Because I didn't want to take geometry. I had my 2 years of math, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to take this. I wanted to take like a science, right? But they put me in geometry, so I'm like, dude, I'm not even going to do anything. So I slept, and then I failed it twice. Now what do I do all day? Freaking geometry. All I do is look at freaking circle tanks, and my geometry is like, you're gonna need this. I'm like, no, I'm not. Next thing all I do is dimensions and stuff with tanks and round things and square things and see if it'll fit on the trailer. It sucks sometimes. It's like, what are you wrong with you people?
There you
I
go.
was-
I was watching your video today about the you had to take a claim on one of your tanks.
Yeah, you're one of the very few. I should have put the
Yeah,
word.
I know. I find that stuff interesting because I've had to have so many claims on large restaurant equipment that was delivered to our restaurant. And so, I know exactly what you mean. You have to take 10,000 pictures, and then there's 2 guys in the middle. And, by the time it's all said and done, they just say, hey, can you use it? I say, well, okay, yeah, I can use it, but this big ass dent in the side kind of, it's kind of alarming. Is it going to cause any problem? Nope. Okay, we'll give you $500 off and go ahead and use it. And I'm like, okay, enough said.
Sure.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is put this tank was used in the and as a operation to float QAnon across the ocean over to Ukraine, and it was damaged in the process. I should have put something like that in the title, and I would have got like 10 million hits.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that, though, because Jeff B might see that as surplus now and then want to go buy it because it's some kind of, some kind of crazy waste,
I could have put a board on the bottom of it, and then he would have bought it and been like, oh, look at the size of that dartboard. I can hit that one.
Where's the closest desert?
Where's the closest desert? Yeah, exactly. That's what I should have did. QAnon, damaged QAnon desert survival habitat. While delivering QAnon's devil habitat. That's what I should have put in the damn title.
Do you do windmill blades?
I don't do windmill. Windmill is actually it's so much of it that they drive the price down because they made you go out and buy special trailers to do that, windmill trailers. And then when everybody goes out and gets windmill trailers, they're like, well, now that you have these $1 million trailers that can only haul windmills, we're going to drive the price down.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
GE, when I was working there, started doing it in-house. They started hiring drivers, leasing trucks, and then they own the trailers. But because they couldn't, they were stopped finding people to be able to do it. Like it just wasn't profitable for these companies, I guess.
Right. Well, and then the other thing that happened, G went out and said, yeah, we'll finance you a blade trailer, or we'll finance you what's called a schnabel trailer for the big sections. Yeah. And then when they did that, they drove the price down because they knew you had the loan through them, and two, then they wanted to basically, drive the price down. Then they had, like he said, they had to start trying to find their own trucks because people are like, well, I'm out of here.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, so how are we going to stop people from believing all this stuff? That's,
we're not.
It's just crazy. Yeah, it's really. I think you might be right. The guy that's the guy that's shooting crack every night. You walk up to him and say it's ruining his life, and the last thing he's going to do is stop.
Right. It doesn't matter what we show them. It doesn't matter what any of us say. And it's even like there's another one. First of all, there was somebody in the chat that was bitching that, of course, they're gone when we drop the link, something with an M, wimp. And then there was John G, who ran his mouth on my channel. He's not here either. And he's like, well, India's never going to side with them. No, everybody's now saying that India's going to side with Russia and China. Oh, damn.
Isn't India literally fighting with China already over water rights in a river or some shit?
Yeah, they're literally fighting, but they're looking and saying, hey, we get our weapons from Russia. We can't do solar because we have too many people. So we're going to have to stick with the people that still want to use the coal and the gas rather than the people that want to throw up the windmills and the solar panels. So they're weighing their options. Plus, they're right there. It's not a good thing for them to team up with us when we're, across the ocean. So it's just, dude, sides are being picked and it's getting ugly. And to me,
it is getting ugly. You're right.
With us not believing anything, it's eventually going to be a takedown of, like I said, when people of countries don't believe anything, especially, like I said, your law enforcement, your medical, your school, your money, your government, and your military, good luck. Good luck.
Uh-oh, there's a donation. Oh, what happened to the animation? Q Idiot with $100 to the cult.
Damn. Thank you, Q Idiot.
There's got to be a message. Let me go check and see.
Sage is laying down the meat hammer.
Damn straight.
Sage is laying down the meat hammer. Sage wouldn't touch the meat hammer with your hands. Sage is a vegan, but thank you very much. I appreciate the donation and the support. Q Idiot coming in with $100 strong.
Wow. Thank God you don't still have that video then.
The meat hammer?
Yeah, you wanted me to record that video?
Yeah, but that was just to compare the size of your hands to the size of the average penis, Sage. I told you that again and again.
Right. Got it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Leave my meat hammer out of this.
Yeah. So it's like everybody wants to run their mouth. And that was the other thing, too. You know what? I'm going to rant here. You got me ranting. Is there anything you want to rant about, or you want me to just take up the whole show ranting?
I like rants sometimes. Sometimes rants are a good cause.
Your mic's off. Your mic's muted. Yeah. I don't know. You have no mic. This is great. Fine.
No mic, Mike. Yeah, gotta love it.
No, still nothing. This is awesome.
Here, why don't I talk while he moves his mouth?
Yeah.
And I'll say things like thinking, and go ahead.
Yeah, you pretty much do that. He's trying to figure out which
He's not.
He pushed. Either way, I just got, like I said, a lot of the stuff that started to fire me up was some of these. Every time you call them out and you prove them wrong, they're like, I have the right to my opinion. Stop picking on me. Look, I don't care who you are, what channel you're on. If you're saying stupid stuff and then it's all straight out lie, like the IRS is closed,
Oh,
I'm going to call you.
I would wish.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're on. There it is.
I just had to restart it. That was weird. Anyways, I'm on Phil's team now. I've got nothing to complain about. Everything's peachy, making several $100,000 a month and selling silver and ending human trafficking. So I don't know. You're the only one with something to complain about.
Where can I get that wall art?
From wallartmaps.com.
Is that a donation towards? Is that what that was? Was that put up there as a donation towards?
See, the company stole that from our secrets. That company's actually Cabal. Don't spend your money with them. They stole that from our guy who literally gave up his life trying to get us that map. He faxed it in and was taken out at the same time. So they stole that, intercepted that message, and made it into a piece of art to brag about. It's like the Super Bowl. You know how they always show you what they're going to do to you at the Super Bowl? Same thing.
So basically, let me make sure I understand this right. So the money he said was Nasara money was an art project, and the tunnels that he said were tunnels was also an art project?
Yeah, well, so the first one was like an art project from like a not really well-known artist, but that has a bunch of pieces or whatever. He was trying to reimagine money. This one is actually just it's just this map. Hold on, I got it. It's just this map right here, which is a map of like all the major roads and waterways and shit like that. Let me turn up the opacity. And basically they've kind of elongated a little bit. They've stretched it a little bit, but it's this same map, but they've just turned all the land to black, all the roads and waterways on it to white, and they probably didn't even delete the city names because they're in black already. So they probably left that, but it's the exact same map as this map. Like you can see it right there. Every road's the same. I mean, they're a little bit off because, again, the way it's stretched to probably make it look better on the wall.
Right.
To make it 16 by 9 and fit better on a 8 by 10 print or whatever.
Right.
But it's the same thing.
Okay, so I want to be in on the corporate meeting for Q every morning. So this morning they brought up a map of a road map of Kiev, and they all sat there and they said, "What can we do with that map today? What can we let our people know about that map? Let's think about that. You know what those look like? Those look like they could be tunnels. Yeah, that's it.
If they had that many tunnels, the country would collapse. Look.
Well, and then they have to vote on it. You know, you got 6 guys in queue. So the one guy goes, nah, I don't know. I don't think the people are going to believe that. You know, if we call that tunnels and somebody from another channel looks at that and says, you know, that looks a lot like roads. Maybe, you know, somebody could debunk that pretty quick. Oh, no. Look at them. They're little thin white lines. Everybody will believe those are tunnels. Can you imagine sitting in on those morning meetings? Oh my God.
That's right.
Let's
you know,
have
the
another cup of coffee.
The craziest thing about the entire situation is if you Google Ukraine map black and white, it's the 4th result. Like you don't even have to leave the first page.
Isn't that the craziest thing? Yeah.
I swear to God, we need to just. It is mind-boggling to me, the intelligence level of some of these individuals. It's just, it's and you know, it's also mind-boggling to me. We need to start just basically dropping the link first thing in the show, because where are all the people that want to call me out and say all this shit in the chat?
Exactly. Nobody has debunked you yet. Nobody. Either one of you.
Well, except for Red, and I think he got, you know, unfortunately he didn't read the title of the show.
They eat us for dinner. Sorry, they are fucking piranhas.
Corporal, you have outdone yourself. That Ukraine map puzzle will take me a while. Thank you very much, Jungle Jet. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation and the support. Thank you very much.
So it's the same thing.
So
Hawk.
apparently, that what they were saying in chat earlier when they were saying the stuff about Dory and Carrie talking about Phil was that he accidentally called his new fiance by his ex-wife's name.
Uh-oh.
He called Carrie Dory, I guess,
Oh.
on his live tonight.
Yeah, not good. Let's hope she wasn't watching the stream.
Yeah.
Let's make
Hey,
sure
he's got to learn. I mean, once they hit like 15 years old, they can be vicious. He's so used to the rest of those people. It's pretty. Hold on, they sent me a clip. Hold on. Yeah, I'll grab it. Save as Carrie Dory, and then let's pull it up over here. That way, I'll show my whole conversation. By the way, if you guys don't appreciate my thumbnail from today, you guys don't get to vote anymore on what's good and what's not, because it was me accepting an engagement ring from Phil. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Fantastic. I think
That's right, proposed to Dory. That's right, proposed.
I'm trying. You gotta wait a second.
Thumbnail was the side look you were giving, that nervous side look. That was genius.
Yeah, it was bated breath. I was hoping that he was going to accept me.
Or maybe.
I don't want to be another concubine. I've done that before. Some people call me cum dumpster or concubine, same thing, whatever. Anyways, I wonder if he accidentally it would be even funnier if he accidentally called her by my name. Now that would be a clip that I'd want to see.
Oh, did he ever shout out the words you told him to shout out that he watches your channel?
No, I don't think so. I might have forgot to watch.
Oh, of course you did.
All right, here we go.
That's right, proposed to Dory. That's right, proposed to Dory. That's right, proposed to Dory. To Dory. That's right, proposed to Carrie on our land. So that was pretty cool.
On their land they bought.
They bought all that land? They bought dirt?
That's what most people were assuming, was they had bought that dirt patch and they were getting it, leveled up or whatever. But it's still pretty rough shape. But it's a lot of topsoil.
How big is it? How many acres did he buy?
It's quite a bit of land, to be honest with you. I don't know, but just judging by the pictures, if he bought everything so what I think's actually happening is they probably bought a lot in a subdivision, because it goes as far as you can freaking see. You know what I mean? They probably bought land in a spot that's going to be like fancier and have a bunch of houses on it, if I had to assume. But he doesn't say the amount, I don't think. What do you think? Have you ever called your current wife by your ex-wife's name?
Nope.
I call Mariah by my ex-girlfriend's name all the time, but I told her it was a nickname for her.
Right.
Mike? She still hasn't figured it out.
John?
Huh?
John?
Steven.
Listen, this is
Mr. Ed.
So basically we've got John G was supposed to, I was going to hear something from John G. He was going to, if my intelligence, where's he at? Poof, gone. Liberty, you're welcome to come on too. Absolutely welcome to come on. Hawk, not this Hawk, but the other Hawk. You're welcome to come on and explain, us to what you were actually so emotional about, if that video, if not Nassar. Whoever the other person was, Lady Liberty, she's welcome to come on. Again, no shows.
Holy shit!
And they're welcome.
If they're right in chat and he bought land in Lake Havasu, it is fucking dirt cheap. 20 acres for $13,000. 32 acres for $18,000. If that's right, I mean, it's all a lot of these are dirt and undeveloped. 20 acres for $15,900. This land's fucking dirt cheap, dude.
Well, the problem is now you gotta. Are they hooked up to septic or a well?
Well, I mean, I would assume they would check that out. I mean, but I know it's an arid climate, but damn, that is crazy. And then there's some of them that's like here's like
$1,500 an acre here in Iowa for untillable land.
Okay, here is a quarter acre of land for $200,000, but it's already in like a like there's a cul-de-sac and it's going to be a subdivision. So it varies drastically, but you can get quite a bit. $60,000 for 40 acres. I don't know. I don't know what type of land he bought. Hopefully he has water access, road access, and can get to it.
God.
That's unbelievable.
I was trying to find the plot. Like, I was hoping to find a picture that looked so much like the plot that he was standing on yesterday that I could just be like, oh, that's it. But there's very slim chance.
I mean, it's got to be some. If he bought all that, you guys know exactly where your freaking silver money's going. And if he bought all that, we're going Nasara all the way, Will.
I guarantee you he did. Like, I told my chat the other night, I said, let's just do it. Okay, chat. If you're part of my channel over at Cold Beer Condemned, let's give me a month where you guys just play Q-tards and I'll play Q General. Okay? Yeah. And we'll use the voice changer. We'll put up some things. I'll call in some of my old military buddies. I even have contacts with a couple of generals. I'll get them on board and pay them their piece of the pie. And then once we've bought the pickup truck that'll pull the camper, brand new, of course, and a Tesla, then we'll shut it down. We'll go back to debunking. I just need a month or two. We can do 6 months, and I'll be retired. We can do 6 months.
6 months, we're golden, bro. 6 months, we're golden.
No way.
God. Why can't we find somebody that knows him outside of the Q universe? You know, like an old friend or something.
Like his mom.
What does this guy do at night?
I found all those people. I found people he went to school with, people he worked with, people that lived beside him, his neighbors in Daria where he lived. I've talked to all those people. His mother. I've talked to all those people. I mean, they all deny it. Not a lot of people want to be featured because he's got a hate army of, a couple 100,000 people that will attack them like they did his wife. But I've spoke to almost everybody from his past.
Oh my God. I mean, do these guys go home at night and say, God, you'll never believe what I got all these people to believe tonight. We made another 50 grand.
No, we literally with the help of Lee on KLW News, literally just threw Jeff completely to the liar that he is, right? Completely called him out as a liar that he is, to the point that he shut down his Telegram channel, and people are probably still in there waiting for him to come back from the secret mission of the ballots or some new secret mission that he's on.
The chat even went after Liberty Warrior too. They said that's why he appears on that shitty show Liberty Warrior. They've never been right about anything. Like the chat was rough that night. That he was playing it on loop or whatever. That Lee was playing it on loop. It was bad.
And so
is he still on Liberts? Does he still go on there?
Liberty addressed it, calling it the elephant in the room, saying he did shut down his Telegram. He doesn't know why. He just knows he did it, and that he's still in the fight. He'll still be on his channel and other people's channels, and he's not giving up. He's still in the fight. So don't even think that. He'll be the last person to give up. So that's what he said about it.
He should be the first person to give up.
He should have gave up at December 31st, like he said.
Like he said. He said that. Not us.
Wow.
He said, where's his call outs? And Jeff, you're also welcome on the show. Anyone, like I said, it's just one of those things that it's like they all disappear. We have a call-in show that you can debate us, and they come in the chat before the thing's linked, and then they take off and running. I'm out of here. Yeah, you're out of here just before we drop the link. Go figure.
I got to decide. If we're going to do this for 6 months, I got to decide which MLM I want to pick. Hey, by the way, don't join my MLM, but pretend like you joined my MLM. I need people in the chat saying, I already made $300 on my first check. I've only been on here. I only joined 3 hours ago. Shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. I've already talked in. All my family members are now a part of my team.
Jeff B is so universally hated that when he goes on an actual Q channel, like when he went on like QAnon John and those channels, they made fun of him and kicked him off.
Did they really?
They called him a LARPer and kicked him off their channel, like because he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. They're like, "Oh, this guy's out here fucking LARPing," and then kicked him off the channel. So he can't even fit in with the real Q guys. He's only a Liberty Effect Q guy.
Wow! Ouch! That has to hurt.
Then he called him. He said, "Well, clearly these people aren't awake. If you still hang out over there, I don't know what's wrong with you. They're not ready to see the truth."
The guy's name's QAnon John. Like he wouldn't accept you.
That's brutal.
Oh, it's rough.
Well, I got all my ranting out, just so you know.
Oh no, you got more ranting to do. You still got 18 minutes worth of ranting. You said you had the whole show.
You want 18 minutes more? All right, let me see what I got in my notes here. It's company. I can't read my damn thing.
When's the last time you had bad service at a local restaurant?
Every friggin' day, my friend. Every day.
You idiot said he sent me a link. Hold on just a second.
Oh, I did get high speed internet. Well, higher speed internet. I bought that today. Well, I ordered it today. They have to send me out a modem. So Motion's gaming channel should go a lot better because now I'm going to have right now I've got 200 down and like 10 up. But I got a gig down, which doesn't matter. But 35 gig up, and it's cable. So even if I lose, like, because cable isn't very stable. So even if I lose 10, I'm still at 20 up, which would be much better.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You had to do something. The whole freezing up and shit was getting on my nerves.
Tell me about it. I think that you're going to improve it. And then as soon as you guys hook us up like a tow truck, I can go out and get a powerful computer and with the MLL thing, and we'll be good to go.
Surely not. Yeah, I've got most of these links. I would say they probably bought one of these expensive. So there's a bunch of expensive plots of land that are, I'm sure, going to be in really nice communities one day. So there's like around $250,000 to $500,000 pieces of land. They're at places called like Havasu Heights or the Coves at the Selling Hawks, or I'm sure that's the type of land he bought, spending his silver money. He probably didn't buy all the land for a cheap price, probably because it doesn't have water, first of all. And second of all, I'm sure he's got a flex, right? That's what I thought would be his downfall. The fact that he's taken money and donations to sue people, but he's out here flexing on cars and jewelry and suits and Jordans, and he promised everybody would be put in the order they signed up for his MLM, and then he brings in his girlfriend and just puts her at the fucking second tier, making $2,000 a week from the start. Like, I don't know. This is I figured that would be his downfall, but you can't run these people off with a shitty mop. Like I've never seen nothing like it.
No, you can't. It's impossible. Oh, is Yori still here? Because Yori, you need to hurry up and get an Xbox. Motion demands it. Yeah, I want to know how much property he bought. I want to know how much property he bought. And standing on the dirt lot there proposing. I want to know how much he bought. Let me ask a question. I mean, you also accepted his proposal.
I was promised a dowry. It was a solid silver chastity belt. I know that was part of it. 2 milking goats.
Was it on the dirt lot?
And 1 ride in a Tesla. Was it on a dirt lot? It was actually on the plasma moon.
Yeah. See, what I would have did, I thought he was going to do was hand her a metal detector and bury it out there someplace and say,
bury her with a metal detector.
Well, not really her so much, just the ring, and see if they could find it. I mean, it was huge, so he might need a bulldozer, but a shovel, and sage shovels are for sale. Obviously, Jeff B., you are definitely needing a shovel now. Right?
Hold on. Somebody in chat said, let's start a new GoFundMe to send Beer Man and his camper to buy the plot of land right next to Phil's house.
Absolutely. Let's mention, see if we can get the address, because you were looking to buy right next door.
Park the camper right there, and I'll set up a streaming cam. I was thinking about hiring a private investigator just to see what he does all day when he goes on his missions. Like if he says one advanced enough to where I can get a private investigator on the ground. But if I'm just sitting there, I'll just run a 24-hour a day live cam. We just run it, see what he's doing.
Out there in a white wife beater and shorts, sitting in like patio furniture with the bent awning right next to his house.
Shitter's full. I don't think I'm legally allowed to take my kids within 1,000 feet of him. I don't know. I've got minor children. So
good Good point.
I don't know. If I was Dory, I'd definitely be getting some of that fucking money. Like I wouldn't. There's no way that I would ever struggle. So I understand that she doesn't want to do interviews. She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to go public because he can make her life really hell. And they share kids together. She's not trying to ruin him. Still her kid's father, but I would damn sure be collecting that check. There's no way that I would put up with all this stupid shit and not come out and call him a piece of shit. And not be getting fucking cashing in on that money he's making.
Yeah, absolutely. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
What do you estimate he's making a year?
I mean, he said in one of his silver live streams that he was making $13,000 a week off his MLM.
All right, so let's cut that in half.
Okay. Yeah.
He blows up.
Let's even say just say $13,000 a month. That's cutting it into a quarter.
All right.
So let's say 13,000 times 12 equals 156,000 just off the MLM, and then Carrie's making 2,000 times 12, 181,000 a year.
So let's say easily $250.
And then what does he get for YouTube coming out?
He doesn't do that, but how many members you think he has? He's probably got a few hundred members at least. Yeah. So there's like another 1,000 a month. So that's another plus 12,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's see. That's 192. We're up to like 275. Plus, he's got businesses paying him to advertise, and that's not cheap. I used to do digital marketing for small businesses on his Patriot only platform. I don't know if we can look that up. Hold on.
So he's probably making $500,000 a year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, easily, probably more.
All said and done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Libert. He could close some of those businesses and just collect on this other stuff. And he'd be fine.
Let's see.
So how connected are all the MLMs, do you think? Like Liberts and Phil's and then some of the other ones. Do you think that they're all the same MLM with the top people making the money, or do you think each one of them is running their own grift?
No, they're not all the same. I mean, a lot of them are doing Melaleuca, which even Melaleuca and even Phil is. That's the one that's got household products and shit like that. Yes, that's the one that Liberty's running, blah, blah, blah. But the silver one, Phil's the only one I know. So, well, no. That Chris Sky started doing 7K metals as well.
But what's the one that Glenn Beck is doing?
I don't know if it could. His is at 7K. Hold on.
Glenn Beck is really pushing the Patriot connection purchasing.
He's doing Gold Line with Glenn Beck, which is a different one. It's kind of the same, but it's for buying gold or investing in gold.
Why? And let me go ahead.
A pretty well known media personality, Glenn Beck, has been plugging gold investing, but also conversion to cash through one of his sponsors of the show, Gold Line. So there's that one.
Let me ask a question. I mean, what is the difference in? I bought silver pieces online, right? I did. I don't remember the name of it, and I just picked one, bought it. I didn't join any membership, and they shipped it to my house.
Yeah.
I just Googled it.
Here's the messed up thing about his MLM. So his MLM doesn't just sell gold or silver by the weight, right? It's collector pieces. So these collector pieces could one day be valuable, but the only way to know is to be a experienced collector that knows that, hey, this is really trending. Hey, this is really big. Hey, this is going to be big in 20 years. Hey, I remember that from my childhood. Hey, so there's a lot of, if they're not U.S. minted coins are really easy to look up. If there's something that has a fucking panda on it or a zebra or this or that, the only way to know what's going to be valuable is to be an experienced collector. But an experienced collector isn't going to pay a yearly membership fee, isn't going to auto save and have a coin delivered every month. So this is it's set up for new people that are new into buying silver because it's easy. They auto mail you something. Your friends are doing it. You could earn money by signing up more friends. It's set up for new people. But the only people who could technically benefit from this at these rates, they're paying like $200-$300 per ounce of silver, or would be experienced people who wouldn't use this service in the first place. So the service is fucking useless.
Yeah. I'm an experienced collector. And I have gone through my collection and I take everything, all of the silver out of the collection that I know is not going to have any value as far as the collection goes.
Above weight.
And then I just set that off to the side for weight.
Yeah.
And then I have bought, I have bought silver and I have bought gold. But in my collection, if it doesn't have a value above face value now, it's gone. I set it off to the side.
I only buy silver because I think the markets are going to go up later, and I don't really brag about it or say it on the show because I don't want people to think I'm trying to sell them silver or convince them to buy silver. But I got the only like collectible pieces is Liam likes Star Wars, so I got him a Disney Mandalorian silver coin, and it's like in a case. Disney sold it. It was the first one of like a set they did back a couple years ago when the Mandalorian came out. But most of it is I just buy it by the ounce and I pay, spot price plus whatever the premium is, and then hold it because I think silver is going to go up. But and then I buy every once in a while. I go try to find old U.S. coins. So I'll go change in a bunch of quarters, try to find something pre 1964, or get a bunch of nickels and try to find the same thing, or find war nickels like 42, 43, 44 war nickels, shit like that. But I don't actually, I don't do any collection stuff because I'm not. I mean, you have to stay up on top of that, and the shit shifts too. When people have excess money, stuff's a lot more valuable. So like, some of like the really expensive coins 5 years ago were worth a lot more than they are right now. Now they're still valuable. They're still really expensive. But some of these deep mirror proofs and stuff, when people had excess money, were worth a lot more. The same as collecting video games or tennis shoes or anything else. But they're still worth money. It's just you have to know what you're doing if you're going to be collecting that. Somebody can say, "Oh, it's a deep mirror proof," and really, it's not even uncirculated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a collector, right? So I don't know. So you guys might know the answer to this question. Motion, my wife, is a serious collector of Amazon goods. Now, is any of that going to be worth money? Because she's seriously collecting a lot of Amazon goods.
Can you refund it?
Not anymore. And she just...
Are you getting free shipping?
I believe so. I believe.
You're a Prime member?
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
It's got to be good if you're getting free shipping. You're in the logistics, man.
Every day. Boxes are here every day of Amazon goods. So she's definitely collecting a lot.
By the way, Sage and Motion actually sent Mariah a gift card. She spent it. She got her package today. I took it and dropped it off to her before I started the show. Thank you.
But at the top, she wasn't supposed to spend it on herself. That was the orders.
Yeah, I mean, she got a bunch of stuff she likes to craft, so she got a bunch of crafting stuff.
Okay, cool, good. I'm glad she did that. But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out if any of these stuff, because we keep the boxes. I'm wondering if the Amazon boxes would be worth anything too, because we keep a lot of those.
Okay,
yeah, when they outlaw cardboard.
Right there. That's it right there.
Cardboard?
If somebody could start collecting Amazon boxes and then recirculating those boxes, somebody could make a ton.
Yeah.
How many trees are dying every day just run Amazon boxes?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, it's helped heat our house. We use a lot of the cardboard.
There you go.
I'm not sure if this is a good move or not, but I've been collecting quite a few bad habits and addictions. They're starting to really pile up, so I'm thinking I may cash them in one day to retire.
Yeah,
you never know.
That could work too.
Well, Mariah could probably give us a value of those.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'd black both her eyes. That's one of my addictions, is beating her.
Yeah. Besides that, I think we're done here, right?
Yeah. Unless you got something else, Sage. You got anything else?
What, you want me to go on?
This was your rant show. If you got something, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to take my top tier patrons and we're going to go over the Trump lawsuit.
All right.
If anybody wants to join us over there, $15 and up on Patreon. We're doing a show to go over the Trump lawsuit. If you want to join us, That's at patreon.com/cold beer. And then when the link drops, it'll send you an email. It'll also be on the Patreon page. Plus, there's a Telegram group you can join. I'll post it in there as well.
Hawkeye, you're Patreon, right?
Oh, I'm a Patreon. I am Patreon. I'm Mr. P.
All right,
There you
perfect.
go. He's the founder.
He's the founder.
I am the founder.
What else? You got anything else? Subscribe to Sage News Network. Follow them. She's still gaming on that channel, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get that going. We're actually gonna changing the living room and design it a specific way. We're just tossing out the couch and everything that's down there. We just do whatever we want with our house. You know, I know a quick story. This is great. The house we lived at in Tennessee, you would walk into the front door, right, and you'd come into the living room. Well, the bedrooms were so damn small, we made the living room the bedroom, right? UPS freaked the UPS guy out when he walked into the door to drop off a package, and the bed was right there. But that was an interesting story of my first house. That's how small it was.
That was a horrible story. Have you been telling
That's
stories
really
long?
interesting, Sage. Thank you for sharing.
I haven't been telling these stories long. Normally,
Even Hawkeye called you out for your shitty story.
Well,
I'm not really. I'm sorry. Well,
I'm not a storyteller. I tell the truth, not the stories. So that's why I'm not
now I see where you're going with this.
here I'm going.
Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us. Subscribe to me, Cold Beer Confessional, Cold Beer Condemned, Cold Beer Everything. Don't subscribe to Hawkeye. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the donation. Sage, you get everybody, it's your chance. Hawkeye, last words.
No.
We're doing the Liberty Roundtable.
The world needs to end. That's a quote from my wife, who has a master's degree in sociology.
Makes sense. Sage?
I agree.
Here's my last word tonight, folks. I'm going to kick everybody off the panel.
Positive.
Here's my last word for the night. If you contact Miles Franklin, please let them know that Liberty Warrior Nation did not send you. Miles Franklin, our silver and gold providers that sponsor every other show but ours. Let them know that Liberty Warrior Nation did not send you. Thank you for joining us.
One more real quick. Mike, learn how to mute your damn mic before Hannity gets there. All right, go.
Mike. See you guys. See you on the next one.
Hot Mike.
If you're a top tier Patreon, we'll be back in just a minute.